For decades, globalization wasn't just a business strategy, it was a belief system. The more nations traded with one another, the more they would prosper and stay at peace. Factories spread across continents. Cargo ships carried billions of goods. Nations tied themselves together in pursuit of growth. But today, that story is changing, and fast. In this video, we'll explore how supply chains are being reshaped by geopolitics, why connector economies are becoming critical players, and how the global map of production is being redrawn. Stick with me, because the future of globalization may look very different from what we've known. After the Cold War ended, economic integration surged. Free trade agreements, open borders, and advances in logistics created a massive web of interdependence. Companies chased lower costs by offshoring production. Governments supported it, believing that economic ties would reduce conflict. The logic was clear. Cheaper production abroad meant cheaper goods at home. Everyone would win. Supply chains became global, complex, lean, and highly efficient, but as we'd later discover, also vulnerable. In 2008, the financial crisis rattled global markets. Trust in the Western economic model declined. Then came political upheaval, Brexit, Trump, and rising protectionism. In 2020, COVID-19 pushed the system to the brink. Borders closed, factories halted. Container prices soared. Suddenly, the global machine stalled. Governments and companies began asking hard questions. Can we keep relying on fragile, faraway supply chains? The answer, increasingly, was no. In 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine, and the global economy split, not just morally, but materially. At the UN, around 130 countries condemned the invasion, but many abstained, including major economies. That political divide began shaping real investment flows. $180 billion shifted from neutral or pro-Russia countries towards the U.S. bloc. For the first time in decades, capital wasn't just chasing opportunity, it was avoiding risk tied to geopolitics. The IMF now warns, if the global economy fractures fully, we could lose 7% of global GDP. That's the equivalent of erasing the entire French and German economies combined. Despite tensions, China remains the world's factory floor. No other country offers its scale, infrastructure, and efficiency. But foreign sentiment has cooled. Trade wars, regulatory crackdowns, and political risks have spooked many investors. Western companies face a paradox. They want to diversify away from China, but they can't do it overnight. For now, many firms are still deeply reliant on Chinese suppliers. The question isn't if they will decouple, it's how and how fast. Enter the connector economies. Countries that aren't picking sides. They trade with China, they trade with the US, and they welcome factories from both. Vietnam is a clear example. In just 5 years, exports to the US have doubled, but so have imports from China. American brands assemble in Vietnam, using Chinese parts. The supply chain shifts geographically, but stays globally connected. Poland is becoming a bridge between Europe and Asia. Mexico is a near-shoring hotspot for U.S. firms, but also attracts Chinese investment. Indonesia is linking natural resources with partners from all sides. Morocco is quietly building logistics corridors towards both China and America. These countries are playing both sides and winning. What country do you think will become the next big connector economy? Let us know in the comments. Of course, challenges remain. Infrastructure is key: roads, ports, power grids, and talent.
China has spent decades building this. Others are now racing to catch up. Investors are watching. Can Vietnam handle another 500 factories? Will Mexico fix its logistics bottlenecks? Can Indonesia scale sustainably? The potential is there, but execution will define the winners. Globalization isn't dying, it's evolving. We're moving from one massive system to multiple interconnected ones. Trade will continue. Business will adapt. But the politics behind supply chains are now front and center. In this new world, flexibility and neutrality may become the biggest assets. And if you're in supply chain, logistics, or manufacturing, the way you plan and adapt today will shape your future tomorrow. If this video helped you understand the shift, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to check out our supply chain guides and tools at supplychainxl.gumroad.com.